basically being expected to be in a polyamorous type relationship.
Yeah.
You should just be okay with your man cheating. You should just be cool with it. If he cheats, you leave him. The next man gonna cheat. But my question is, why is no one talking about the high rates of STDs within the Black population? Because if the men are sexually promiscuous, we already know they're not using condoms like that. Then you, as a woman, as a Black woman, if you want a Black man, have to pretty much accept that STDs, STIs will be a part of your relationship at some point.
Right. And it's because of what you said, if you want a Black man. Now, a lot of people will negate and try to dismiss the notion of Black male worship, and they'll say, oh, well, Black men aren't worshiped. Listen, you may not be going to church and singing hymns to Black men, an altar of Black men, but if you listen to the music Black women write, if you look at the way they portray themselves with Black men, if you look at the way the community functions, the way Black women are taught, the way there's a complete lack of acknowledgement of Black women having any other option than Black men, then that is where your worship is. They don't deserve it. If when you condition to the women to chase males who have absolutely nothing to offer them, then you are conditioning them to worship those men. So most people in the community are not going to encourage Black women to go seek different men. And we see the people who do, they get ostracized. I was one of them who would do that. I was one of them when I came to YouTube who would ostracize Black women who did date out. It was because of my own ignorance and my own Black male worshiping and not clearly seeing the picture of what's going on in the community. I mean, most people on YouTube are very well aware of me and Crystal and Karazin's ongoing headbutting. That started largely because we were on opposing sides. I was on a side adamantly defending Black men, talking about white supremacy and how the system oppresses and victimizes Black men. And she was on the side of date out. Now, even if I don't agree with the way that she marketed it, so to speak, I can agree with what she's suggesting. I can agree now with what she's suggesting. And I wasn't able to agree with that without having a larger picture of what's going on. So out of my own ignorance, I was saying that Black women should only dedicate themselves to Black men. And not only was I doing that, I was also promoting the notion that Black women should help Black men to become what they need to become or actualize to their fullest potential. I don't think that Black women should do that. That was a mistake. And I don't have a problem admitting mistakes. That was a mistake. I wasn't doing what I should be doing. I feel now that I am doing what I should be doing. I'm not going to direct Black women towards a certain race of men per se, but I think it is critical, not just for Black women, but for Black men too. In terms of Black men becoming better, there is zero chance of Black men becoming better while Black women are fully dedicated to them. You're not being treasonous. You're not being disloyal. The best thing you can do out of love towards Black men, if you're not going to stop birthing them, is give them some competition. Make them compete for you. It will make them better.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, she's telling no lies. She's telling no lies. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, because look at what 50 Cent said. Remember that interview that 50 Cent and Lil Wayne were doing? They got all of that attention because he was talking about how much he likes these exotic women because you don't see them walking down the street in a hood and you can't just get them. He's talking about the limited access that he has to these women. Why do he have a limited access to them? Because they have other options than other men.
Yeah, and when he was broke, they weren't looking at his ass.
Yeah, he got to compete with other men. Kanye know he has to compete with other men for a Kim Kardashian. He knew he had to compete with her. He still know. Every time he went around facing another man that Kim Kardashian had been with, he has to compete. Men value what they have to work to obtain. And that's why Tupac said in his video, and it rings true, I don't want it if it's that easy. Now, he may want it, but he's not going to value or respect it.
Nobody. No, he's not. No, he's not. You're absolutely. And as a matter of fact, using Kanye as an example, every time Kim got with a new dude and because he was around the Kardashians about 10 years before they actually got together. He would go back to the drawing board and he would put out another album, or he started another business, or he literally constantly leveled up his money just to be good enough. Just to be good enough.
But he came in knowing he was good. He wasn't good enough because he admitted that Kim Kardashian made him take 30 showers just to have sex with her. Now, and imagine that. A woman who literally is on film sucking dick, who has a reputation of being with so many different men in the industry, but she is telling you that because you were with Amber Rose, you're too unclean for her. You need to take 30 showers just to be with her. And Kanye came out and told us that wasn't our business. We wouldn't even known. But that was the standard and her expectation of him. If I'm going to be with you, then my expectation is that you need to do something to redeem yourself from being with this lowly woman, even though I'm all over video sucking dick. And lazily, mind you, but
very lazily.
Like that was the laziest head I've ever seen in my life.
I'm just like, damn, if you're gonna do it, do that shit. You know, like
like if I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna do it on camera, I'm gonna do it to death. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna really do it. If I'm doing it, I'm gonna show up and show out. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I would do if I'm on camera, but. No, that lazy, please. And then Kanye's running around here talking about how pure she is. And then like she over here requiring you to take 30 showers. But what made Kanye lose his mind is her being with Pete Davidson, that white man. That's what made him lose his mind.
It made him lose his mind. It made him call Charlemagne and literally yell at Charlemagne on the phone for 2-3 hours about how his wife has to be saved from the white man with a big dick. And and then he literally had an obsession over Pete Davidson's penis, which is a whole nother, I'll let you speak on that. Just speak on that. It was just like, really? Like that's what you call it, making calls about?
Yeah, but that competition, it just kept them going. Black women do not require Black men to compete with them for them. It's open access. And not only that, but we will advertise our one-sided loyalty. Like how you had Young Miami sitting up in the video talking about how she can't date outside of her race. P. Diddy just had a baby by a white Asian.
Literally just had a baby by an Asian lady, a random ass Asian lady who was married. Like So you're restricted. Oh man, let's use Kendra G as an example. No shade to her, but typically when Black women call into her show, they go, my man gotta be Black. I'm sorry. He just gotta be Black and he gotta be chocolate. I need chocolate. I need chocolate. So you got Black women wanting the blackest of the Black. When Black men call in, shit, I'm open. I date all races. I'm white only. Hispanics are more loyal. And it's just like I'm like, Black women, do you not see and I be telling them like, just open yourself up. Now, what pushback do you have for the Black men that say white men don't find you desirable?
I think that Black men tell Black women that white men don't find them desirable because if Black women go date white men, there's absolutely nothing that Black men can do about it. The only power they have is convincing Black women that she's undesirable to white men. That's the only thing they can do. So if you want to keep the person that you're exploiting, if you want to keep your greatest asset, which Black women have been the Black man's psychiatrist when he wants to get some mental help, which he never does. So basically when he wants to dump his baggage on her, she becomes his counselor. She's his advocate. She's his mommy. She's his attorney. She's his breadwinner, his provider, his protector, the guard dog. Black women do everything for Black men. So for Black men to lose access to Black women would be a problem. And please understand that's the issue that they have. Look, they can run around and do all this manipulative child's play, talk about they go get their passports. They're putting on a performance for you to try and manipulate you to acquiesce to more of their degeneracy. But at the end of the day, Black men are deathly afraid of Black women divesting. And that's the only time I'm going to use that term because I don't want to promote their movement because I don't agree with it.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the really the only thing that black men fear. Because if black women go over to white men en masse, black men can't do anything about it. They can't implement anti-miscegenation laws. They're not going to lynch men of no color for being with black women. They can't do anything. So the only thing they can do about it is to try to convince black women to not go over there to begin with. And the way he does that is say these men are not interested in you. But I think black women need to stop listening to what black men are saying. White men have always been interested in black women, and they still are, and so are Asian men, quiet as it's kept. What a lot of people don't know is how much Asian men actually like black women.
And my thing is, I'm not gonna listen to you tell me something. I'm gonna go see for myself.
Yeah.
Just go see, just try it. I was having a conversation with Sabrina Parr, Lamar Odom's ex, and I even told her, like, why don't you try it? You're absolutely gorgeous. Like, why not? And it was just like out of the question for her. But my thing is, if you tried one thing for decades and it's been nothing but failure after failure, why not just try something different? Just one date.
Because as a black woman, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to suffer with black men. You're supposed to endure with black men. What you're not supposed to do is go find a better man than black men. And that's why I'm saying it's a worshiping culture. We don't just have black men trying to shame and ostracize black women away from interracial dating. Black women do it too. And that's the problem. It would be different if black women were like, you know, we all have these shared experiences. We're all going through the same thing. A lot of us has been made to single mothers. We've been abused. We've been cheated on. Like, they've done everything to us. We should go out and be with other men. Even if we hadn't gone through all of that, they're doing it. So we should just reciprocate their behavior. That's not happening, though. It's happening, starting to happen more, but this is the first time ever. This is after hundreds of years of you need to be dedicated to only black men. Nobody else wants you. You saw what Umar Johnson did, tried to use spirituality and basically tell black women that they'll be spiritually condemned if they get with another race of men. So I mean, there's a huge effort to keep black women dedicated to these men, and you wouldn't do that if you didn't care. If you didn't care whether these women were here and rooted to you, if you didn't have a vested interest, there would be no black men trying to deter black women from being with white men. What do you care if a group of women that you don't even like and that you get your passport from so that you can escape, what do you care if they think a white man like them? Why don't you just let them go out and find out whether he do or not?
You should just let them be. You should simply just let them be. And you know, when it comes to, speaking of passport bros, and then I want to get back on Dr. Umar, I don't understand why it's a movement, because I thought a passport is what you're supposed to have. Like, I'm sitting there watching like 50 and 45-year-old men brag about having a passport. Is like that's like having an ID. Like, you're supposed, like, I thought you were supposed to.
It really is.
You know what I mean? It is just like, then you see them, you know, go over to certain countries, and you know, people don't want to keep it real, but let's keep it real. They low-key have ruined DR. It's not even the same now when you go. Yeah. Your ass is getting kicked out of Brazil because you're taking that nigga shit, excuse my French, but you're taking that nigga shit, you're taking Baltimore nigga shit to Brazil, and you think you're going to get away with it. Like, no, you're going to get killed. And
that dude tried that in China too, and now he's facing a firing squad. It's like, you fuck around and find out if you want to.
And so even when you see them like with those women of different countries, you know, I'm not saying you can't find love. I'm sure you can. But if you're simply going overseas just to buy coochie, that's sex tourism. That's, you're not like, you could have did that here.
Yeah. You like, can pay to get a woman to do anything here. Like,
you can pay, and then you're going over to DR and you're paying $200 for coochie, US dollars. Now realizing she finna give it to the Dominican dude for $10, like, are you? And then you didn't spend all your money, and now you can't afford your Spirit flight back. Like, that's fucking embarrassing.
It is, but the thing of it is it goes back to when I said that black women, we as women, we have helped to cultivate this mentality and this borderline and I'm using borderline very loosely, and I'm using borderline because I'm not qualified to psychologically diagnose anybody.
It's a storm show. Ay, it's a storm show.